Hello everybody and welcome to our guide for the hard mode version of the Eyeless, which is the giant Rakghoul boss associated with the Rakghoul Resurgence event. Let's start off by talking about the abilities that this guy has on hard mode. They're essentially the same as the story mode equivalents, just little differences here and there. The first is Infected Phlegm, and it is pretty much the same as the story mode equivalent. You still get the green circles on the ground, and while standing in them, you still get the stacking debuff. If you get to 5 stacks, you're essentially dead. But in hard mode, it seems to occur more frequently, so it forces you to focus more on positioning. The second ability, Crush, still does the giant purple circle under the boss that will do even more damage on hard mode, so do whatever you can to avoid getting hit by it, or it will more than likely kill you. His third ability, which is channeled, is Pound, and just like in story mode, it will do AoE around the boss. However, in hard mode, it will do more damage, so the tank needs to be more aware of where their life is at. If they start getting low, they'll need to pop a cooldown, because the boss does tend to hit very hard directly afterwards. As far as the Rakghoul ads are concerned, they have more HP and do slightly more damage, but there aren't any more of them. With those things in mind, the strategy remains fairly similar to the story mode equivalent, you just have to execute it more accurately. What we do is at the start of the fight, we move the boss over to one of the walls of the room, doesn't matter which one, and then we move clockwise. You can also move counterclockwise, once again, doesn't really matter, just make sure your group knows beforehand. As far as positioning of everybody is concerned, we keep everybody except the tank in the general vicinity behind the boss. This has the desired effect of keeping the infected phlegm debuffs concentrated within a certain area. You want them behind the boss because you don't want the tank getting cut off from moving either clockwise or counterclockwise based on what you've decided at the beginning of the fight. As far as movement of the boss is concerned, the tank is simply looking for a small concentration of the infected phlegm debuffs to be behind the boss. If there are, then it's time to move. It's also automatically time to move the boss if there are any debuffs directly behind him, as this will make the job much harder for the melee DPS. You don't want to move the boss too slowly, otherwise everybody behind him will have a much harder time moving around. Then again, you don't want to move him too quickly, otherwise you'll catch up with the infected phlegm debuffs on the ground, so the tank will be running into them. Perfecting the timing on this is easily the hardest part of the fight, but once you've got it down, the fight is pretty much easy from then on. But as a tip to make the fight go faster, once the boss is done casting Crush and the giant purple circle is gone, what we do is we have everybody stack up directly behind the boss and we begin to cast our AoEs. This allows you to not only AoE and kill all of the Rakghoul ads that will come, but allows that damage to also be done to the boss so you're not wasting it. But just like in story mode, it's rinse and repeat once you've figured out all these mechanics, and then you pretty much have the boss dead. We wish you luck in taking down hard mode Eyeless, and we shall see you guys next time.